pushed. Yes, sir. We in the building. Hardwood Hardheads
Here we
episode
go.
3 is back.
Episode 3.
My name is Rolam. That's my boy.
Jeremiah.
And we are here again.
Recapping game 3. Oh no, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Look at you. You already trying to get that
already
ring. Trying to get that ring. We not even there yet.
I'm already trying to go to the banner. No, recapping game 2, as well as talking about some other awesome things. And I guess in some ways some controversial things to some people, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah. We can go ahead and just jump right in if you're ready.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see.
Okay, so they put out the roster for. Let me go ahead and boom. They put out the roster for the 2024 Women's Olympic basketball team.
Yep.
We got Asia Wilson. We got Sabrina Ionesco. I know I said her name wrong. We got Brittany Griner. We got Diana Taurasi. We got Nafisa Collier. We got Jackie Young. We got Brianna Stewart, Kelsey Plum, Jewel Lloyd, Chelsea Gray, Alyssa Thomas, and Kalia Copper. Jeremiah.
Dogs.
How do you feel about this team?
I don't see somebody that's not a dog. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 dogs. Mm-hmm. That's what I see. I see Asia Wilson, hands down the best player in the WNBA right now. I see Sabrina Ionescu, or however you say her name, as the female Steph Curry, legitimately, right? Because the NBA put her in the All-Star competition against Steph last year. So I think right now you could legitimately say she's the best shooter in the WNBA. Kelsey Plum is an absolute pit bull, best guard defender in the WNBA. Stewie is Stewie. She's been making noise for years. Diana Taurasi's the GOAT, right? If it's not Sue Bird, it's her. Chelsea Gray with the Aces, 2-time champion. Last season, she was making waves until she got injured. There was a conversation, I think, last year that Jackie Young, when healthy, is the best guard in the history of the WNBA, potentially.
Ooh.
Brittany Griner, we already know what Brittany brings to the table. We know how significant she's been since college. So, yeah, I think when I look at this team, I think that's gold medal number 8 to me.
Yeah, I think the only person I'm not really familiar with is Kalia Copper on this list.
Yeah.
But I'm sure she's great. Alyssa Thomas she like a pit bull, right? Like, I'm not gonna go down the whole list. They put together a great squad.
Some dogs.
Absolutely. Now, the controversy is before, I don't know if y'all remember this, but before the season started, Lisa Leslie was quoted as saying something to the effect of, it would be crazy for America to leave the country and she not be on the plane, she not be with the team.
Wow.
And for me, looking at this team, I don't think Caitlin Clark should be on this team. She not better than Plum. She not better than Chelsea Gray. She not better than Jackie Young. She not better than Jewel Lloyd.
Or Sabrina.
Right? So I think they made a great decision not putting her on the team. How you feel, Jeremiah?
Well, yeah. I mean, so I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted our initial comments.
Oh, okay.
As if we have millions of people watching us already. I wanted our initial comments to be praising these women for their accolades, because I think the conversation that I saw this morning on national coverage was still about somebody who's not there, still about one person. And these are the 12 best basketball players that the United States has to offer for a lot of reasons. I think, 1, they've been playing together for years. 2, some of them have gold medals already. I think 7 of them are former Olympians. They've had 3 or 4 world practices already. They competed in the Worlds in 2022 together. Most of them did. And what they don't understand is the shortness of prep time between their break in the W and the Olympics is 7 practices. And to me, I'm not adding a new girl just because she's popular. Now, if she was averaging 27 to 30 points a night on 60 to 70% shooting, which is like if she was unheard of good, like now, today in the WNBA, she walked in and she just made her team the best team in the league, and boom, 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 which I think are unreasonable expectations for her. And so not taking anything away from her talent and what all she's been doing. But if she were truly like a phenom and impacting in that capacity already, I would have the argument of like, no, she's just as good. She's better. She's boom, boom, boom. But she's not. And so I think for a lot of reasons, she's deserving to not be there. I think she will be there next time. I think she will win 2 or 3 golds if she stays healthy. I think she's going to be amazing. I think the person she replaces is Diana Taurasi because this is her last time. She's 41 years old. You know, what we're not talking about though, Ro, and I think is just to kind of put it in perspective.
I don't think she replaces Diana Taurasi, but go ahead and continue.
No, what I'm saying is I think as Taurasi falls off, there's a spot that she could step into.
I don't think she does though. But go ahead.
You think there's somebody better than her before
Taurasi? I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Taurasi's a forward.
Yeah, but I think it's more positionless, right? Like the way basketball's played now is really kind of positionless.
But I think she's too small to fill that
gap. That makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? I think you go with somebody like Arike. If you want somebody to play that small forward position.
Well, yeah, that's what we're not talking about too, right? Is that Arike is right now currently the leading scorer of the WNBA. She didn't get picked.
Yeah.
You know, Chene was saying that her sister got snubbed twice. And she was an MVP. And she's the only MVP in WNBA history to not get selected for the Olympic team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is what it is, right? And if we want to be honest, there's a lot of guys on that Team USA men's team that are there because of honor and respect, and this is their last hoorah and XYZ, and we've got better guys.
But that's what I was gonna say. Even if, first of all, I don't think that Caitlin is better than anybody
on this roster
on this team. Okay.
I don't think she's better than anybody on this roster, position or not.
On this roster, right. And the reason why I make a distinction about the position, though, is because I don't need you to be better than, Brittany Griner or Asia. You know what I'm saying? But can you beat out the other women? But that's beside the point. Even if she was better, I still don't necessarily like the rookie getting this spot because this only comes around every 4 years. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm okay with saying, hey, we're going to give Diana Taurasi this spot, even though this person might be better, or that person might be having a better season. Like, I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to get another chance, right? But the thing that I really was disappointed in, and really what I really hated, and real quick, Kimon said, thank you for being truthful. And then he said, she said that Shannon and Stephen A proceeded to not care, though she made a valid point. They made me mad this morning. Yeah. I didn't see that. I'm gonna have to.
Kimon was giving him a side eye like he giving his YouTube picture.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up. But one of the things that I did not like was the statement that, I guess some of the Olympic committee put out where they're talking about, we didn't put her on the team because we didn't want, I don't think they used the word distraction, but the way they were talking was like, her fans would have been this, that, and third, whatever the case may be. And I just think that's a bad look. Like, where are the PR people? Just make this a basketball decision and say, we didn't, we chose, don't even say nothing about Caitlin, right? We chose the 12 best players out of our league, and we're excited to play, right? But to say well, we didn't do it because we didn't want there to be a distraction. And oh, well, she could have brought her considerable fan base to this, that, and the third. I just think that's a terrible, terrible look for them to make that. That's terrible.
I agree, bro. 100% with you. I know people are used to sports podcasts that have more of a debate conversational format.
And we'll get to that. We will get to that.
You know, I'm saying we will disagree on things. I think this one to me is pretty simple. Yeah. I think being completely honest, she's a great basketball player. This does not take away from her greatness. This does not take away from what she's shooting to achieve. I see 12 women that have been there longer and that earned it and deserve it.
Right.
And I think she has been so exceptional. I think Greeny said at one point she's been exceptional, and sometimes she's been given the exception to the rule, and she's not always deserving of that. And in this situation, I don't think an exception should be made. This is not a WNBA thing. This is a Team Olympic thing. This is an Olympic team thing.
Right. But see, what Will says.
Will said, yeah.
This is exactly the problem I have, because they said something along the lines of getting backlash from her fans, right? So that almost implies that we didn't make this decision based on whether or not we felt she was good enough, but we made this decision based on how the fans are going to feel, right? And I just think that's a terrible look. That's a terrible look. But I appreciate you putting that in, Will. That is what they said. Do we have anything more to say about this women's aside, putting Caitlin Clark aside? Do we have anything else to say about the women basketball roster?
They're winning another gold, bro.
Yeah.
I would also say this too, just the last thing. EuroLeague is Euroball is way more physical than American ball. And I would just like to say there is a Serbian lady somewhere who would see Caitlin Clark on that roster for the first time and put her in the trunk. And all of her fans,
collard green, barbecue chicken, pork chops.
And they are not ready. They are not ready to see their superstar and their Captain America get put through a table. And that's what's going to happen. Like the way she falls and gets hurt and gets hit, and she's just not ready for world style competition yet. Yeah. It's a different world. And, you know, I look at it like this. The first time Jason Tatum made the Olympic team, he was a new superstar, and he didn't get any playing time. He was playing behind KD. He was playing behind Book. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't get, but he was there, and he was, I say he was a part of the group project. Did he get a medal? Yeah, but could they have got that medal without JT? Absolutely.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So sure, let's put her on the team so she can get a free trip to Paris. She's not gonna play. And what if we need that spot to get a gold? Yeah. Yeah. So that's my last thing on it.
And the other thing too is this is not a knock against her, right? You didn't have an off season. You need to get stronger. You need to be lifting weights. You need this time to get ready. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a knock. But again, I just want to say, like you said, this is a great team. I'm excited to see what they do this summer in Paris. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. So I'm excited to see what they do. So with that being said, let's move on to finals, the NBA finals, game 2. What's your overall takeaways?
Okay. I'm sending this link to one person real quick, and then I'm going to give you a story.
Oh, man. All right. Here we go with the stories. So for those who may not know, the Boston Celtics took game 2, 105-98. I'll start with my takeaways while you do that.
Yeah, would love it.
I
Yeah,
think
you start this.
I think this was a major. So in my mind, this was the type of game that I think Dallas needed in order to win.
Mm-hmm.
And so them not winning this game, this type of game, I think that bodes really, really bad for them. And I think this is why I thought game one was so important, because game one, I think you needed, if they had lost game, if the Celtics had lost game one and then they lost this game, I think that would have been I think the Mavs would have been able to, they would have been okay. You know what I'm saying? Like they would have felt like, cool, we got one, we stole one, and now we going home, right? But winning the first game the way that the Celtics did win it, and then looking at this game, it was like, okay, this is the type of game that you really gotta win, right? And they didn't. And I think that was really, really terrible. And I think also, I just want to, let me see, where was this? I saw a stat. Yeah, let me see. Can y'all see that on the screen? Can you see that on the screen? Yeah, okay, good. So I was looking at the free throws, and Luka mentioned this. Luka said, I missed too many of my free throws. The Mavericks shot 66% from the free throw line. They were 16 for 24. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's 8 free throws. They missed 8 free throws and they lost by 7. And remember what I said, the margin for error was just so low for Dallas. And I really thought they would play better. I thought Kyrie would be playing better. I think it's just been tough. It's just been tough. So those are my takeaways. I think you're right, Keemon. Are we having some technical difficulties right now?
Let me in.
You in? What you mean? I can see you.
I can't see. I don't see me. I see that I'm backstage.
You on the stage, bro.
I'm gonna come out and come back in because it's weird.
Bro, you on. Just talk, bro. You good.
But I can't. Are you sure? Because it doesn't look like.
Keemon, can you see Jeremiah on the screen?
I can't see nothing.
Come on, bro. Oswald, can you see Jeremiah on the screen? Because I can see you on the screen.
That's crazy.
Let me see.
See if one of them say yes. Can they see me?
I don't know.
All right, well, I'm gonna come out and come back in.
All right, bro. Well, we're having some technical difficulties. He was on. I knew he was. I don't know why he, anyway, whatever. Yeah, he was there. I know he was there. Yeah. Yeah, everybody could see you, bro. You just, for whatever reason, you just couldn't see yourself.
My screen messed up.
So can you see yourself now?
I'm back.
Okay, perfect.
I'm back. Okay. So Saturday, my son had his 10th birthday party. He turns 10 today. Shout out to him. On Saturday, I had some friends that were sitting in the pavilion with us, and the conversation of spades came up. One guy that we were playing with had been talking. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. One guy had been saying stuff to us the whole time about, I think it's probably 3 months now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sean. Yeah, one guy been kind of talking stuff and making jokes for 3 months about being a better spades player, and he was coming for us and all this type of stuff, right? So we're like, okay, cool, let's play. So we play. If you know anything about spades, we play joker, joker, deuce, deuce. We play the 350. First hand bid itself, my team got 6, his team got 7. We were down 10 points. Time to bid books. I'm looking at my hand. I'm like, okay, I probably got 3. My partner's like, I got 3. We're like, all right, we about to go 6. Oh, buddy looking at his hand. His partner's like, I get you 3. Partner looking at his hand. I'm thinking, okay, they're going to go 6s. We're going to go 7-6. Whatever, we're going to lock it up. It's going to be a game. He said, let's go 8. And I'm looking at my hand like, I mean, you don't got 8. But I didn't say nothing. So he said he had 8. We let him go 8. We set him.
Bro, what is this story, bro?
I'm getting there. We set him, right? They got 6. We actually got 7. They got set. Okay. Second hand comes around. They say, "Oh, we going 9." I'm in my hand looking like I got the big joker, the little joker, the 2 of heart, or the 2 of spades, the ace of spades, the queen of spades, and I only got 1 club. I got 5 books in my hand at minimum. So I'm like, well, he not getting 9 off me. So we beat him again. We set him. We beat him 210 to negative 220. Okay. His wife comes in and says, "How y'all doing?" I looked at him and I said, "It's not their fault. They're just not as good as us." Right? So I quit making fun of them. I quit talking trash with them. I say that to say this about Dallas. It's not their fault. They're just not as good as us. That's what I'm getting at. They're doing all they can, and it's not enough, and it doesn't matter. Their other guys aren't showing up. Kyrie is Kyrie. He's 30-something years old. He's lost a step. He's still a great basketball player, but they're ready for him. Jaylen Brown been ready for him. Peyton Pritchard ready for him, of all people. Drew Holiday been going at him. Like, he's not showing up the way that you would want him to, and I think his physicality and explosiveness and quickness, all the things that he had that was working against Anthony Edwards, who's only 22, by the way, isn't an issue against Jaylen Brown and Drew Holiday and Derek White and Peyton Pritchard. And so he's not able to tire them out. He's not able to work them like he was the other guys in the previous rounds. And so he's a non-factor. Luka's scoring 30. I said in the first episode, Luka's going to score. I think I said 35. I think I said he was going to average. He hasn't hit 35 yet, but he's over 30. He got a triple-double last night. He got nearly a triple. Well, he got 30 and 10 the night before. It doesn't matter. Luka's got to do everything he's doing, and then everybody else has to be exceptional for them to have a chance. We shot 28% from 3 last night. Throughout the whole season, a 28% from 3 shooting, where we scored less than 10 3-pointers as a team throughout the entire season in Boston. Those are games we get beat by 20. This was a game 2 loss for us, and they couldn't capitalize on it, so we won. It's not their fault. They're just not as good.
And again, I just think they got to be kicking themselves, because that's the type of game that they should be able to win. But I mean, I don't necessarily look at it and say Kyrie has lost a step. Even if he has lost a step, I feel like, and again, I'm not trying to take anything away from the defense, but Kyrie just looks, and maybe it is the defense that's taking him out of it, but he just doesn't, he's not able to get the same type of looks and the same type of space, you know, that we're accustomed to see him getting. And he's also missing some buckets that he usually makes. And it's like earlier Keemon said, you know, they can't make an open shot. And I'm just like, they're getting some looks and they're just missing them. Even, like I say, even at the free throw line, like 66% from the free throw line is.
How many did they miss? I didn't see that stat.
They missed 8.
They make their free throws, they win the game.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I was saying 16 for 24. That's 8 free throws, right? And you lose by 7. And that's why Luka said in the press conference, like, I missed too many free throws.
Also, and I like that free throw thing that he said. What they didn't say is he had 8 turnovers.
Thank you, Oswald. That is true.
Yeah. Where's Tim Hardaway Jr.?
He got to be hurt. He must be hurt. He has to have an injury.
Either that, or there's either he's injured and they're not saying it, or there's something going on that makes him not really a part of the team.
It's got to be injury, bro. It's got to be an injury. He's been there too long. It's got to be an injury. He's been there the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. It can't be a system. It can't be a scheme thing. Maybe he just don't like the guys no more. Like, I think the offseason will tell the tale with Tim Hardaway. Like, if the offseason comes and we see him traded, we see him sign him somewhere else or something of that nature, then it'll be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But there's no reason why the streakiest shooter in the Western Conference, in my opinion, isn't getting 10 minutes just to see.
Yep.
We understand Javon. He's not a defender at all. But at this point, nobody on their team is.
I mean, the reality is they needed buckets yesterday.
Yeah.
Like you said, you shot 28% from three. At that point, it's like, look, we need to get some buckets. Kyrie
and we were missing. Let's be clear. They weren't taking us off the 3-point line. We shot nearly 43s. We missed them.
That's what I'm saying.
Open shots we missed.
Right. It wasn't defense. It was just y'all were missing. And so it's like, we already not going to play defense. We need to get some buckets. We need some buckets. So, and again, I expected Kyrie had 12 game 1. He had 16 game 2. That's not going to cut it.
Yeah. And we say this, he's only going to have so many bad games. He said in the third. And I know that I mentioned this about the series 2 years ago when they were in Brooklyn and they're a different team and he's in a different headspace. And he said in the third, he had 39 in game 1 and they lost by 1. It was a buzzer beater, Jason Tatum. Then he had 12. Then he had 18. Then he had 20. Historically speaking, since he went to Brooklyn, Kyrie has not played well against Boston, home or away. He's now 0-12. Could it be, all BS with Lucky and Sage Burner and all that type of stuff aside, could it be that Kyrie is just not good against the schemes in Boston because they know how to defend him and they know how to play him?
And look, somebody said earlier in the chat, they have too much to throw at him. When you got guys that you can put 3 or 4 different guys on him, you got different options. It makes it tough. And you got, you getting bumped on every play, right? Jaylen Brown is bumping you. Tatum is bumping you. Pritchard is bumping you. Drew Holiday is bumping you. White is bumping you. And then you get to the rim and KP is standing there.
Mm-hmm. Or Al is standing there.
That's a tough night.
Mm-hmm. And then I think to what he says, I'd argue their defense hasn't been terrible. You're absolutely right. Their defense hasn't been terrible.
That's what I was going to talk about too.
But it hasn't been good. That's the thing.
I disagree with that. I think they've been playing good defense, but it hasn't.
Let me say this, because I hear that, right? But let me just give you a narrative. They've been blitzing everybody that crashes the paint, right? And leaving the 3 open. If we hit our average on 3-pointers last night, we score 140 points. And they don't break 100. They're not playing great defense. They're sticking on people. It's cool, but we're missing a lot of open shots.
Yeah, but that's not an indicator of good or bad defense. That's just an indicator of the strategy. I think they have a game plan and they're following their game plan. Now you could say you don't like the strategy. Okay, cool.
So coaching is bad at this point.
Okay, I mean you can make that case, but it can't be that bad if y'all missing. I mean that's what we do, right? We're gonna make y'all. You gotta pick your poison, right? So somebody said, all right, look, either we give them dunks or we give them threes. Let's let them shoot the threes. And if you missing and they win that game last night, then is it bad coaching?
Okay, so technically you're right. They're missing.
I know I'm right. I know. You ain't got to tell me.
Technically, you're right. They're missing. But they're not missing because of them. They're missing because they had a bad shooting night. Because the game before, they weren't missing. Right. Tatum was, but they weren't.
Sure. I don't disagree with that. But what I'm saying is that when I say I feel like they're not playing great defense, I'm not saying they like shutting people down. But when I'm watching them, I'm not looking at them like even Tatum. When Tatum goes to the rim, like they're not just getting like easy layups and easy baskets. Like they playing them tough. So I don't think they're playing terrible defense. I think they're playing solid, good defense.
They're playing. I'll meet you in the middle. I'll say they're playing okay defense.
Okay. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, I'll meet you in the middle. I hear what you're saying. I just don't think. I'll say this. I will say this. They're doing the best they can.
So to me, I would say that's solid defense. Like
Yeah.
again, a part of it is who they're playing, right? I mean,
Right.
there's so many weapons. But speaking of weapons, let's segue because I really want to talk about Kristaps Porzingis and this potential injury situation.
Yeah.
Because obviously he played well game one.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he was playing well. Yeah, I mean, he had some blocks yesterday that were just like, sheesh. Like, what do you do with that? Right. And so my question for you is if he's hurt and he can't play next game, which I saw him say, I'm playing, I'll die out there. But if he can't play the rest of this series, let's say, how do you feel that affects Boston?
I think it depends. I need to see some Xavier Tillman, Luke Cornett, O'Shea Brissett minutes to say, oh, I'm concerned or oh, I'm not concerned. We have some guys that have gotten some really good reps through the playoffs and through the season to be there in case he can't play. So I'm not innately concerned, but I wouldn't be confident enough to say, oh, we still got it in 5. I would say, and this is going to sound arrogant, even though I'm not being arrogant, I would say my prediction changes from 5 to 6. But even still with that, like that's respectful, like me saying that, like it looks like we have it in 4 right now. It looks like there's nothing they can. We did not play well offensively last night and they couldn't beat us. So it looks like we have it in 4. You know what I mean? If KP's not there and he can't play, like if he gets out there 5-6 minutes in the first quarter, he can't do it, and they bring in Cornette, they bring in Tillman, they bring in Brissett, it's like, okay, no KP, is what it is. I think we still get him in 6.
I did see this. They said he hurt, I guess he hurt his other leg or whatever the case may be. I think people be lying. I don't really know if we could take that like on face value. To me, it looked like, and based on his comments, him saying, I'll die out there. Like to me, and then knowing he said before, he's like, I know I'm not perfect, which to me means he's not 100%. So I think he was already hurt. He's playing. For him to say I'm gonna die out there, I think he's legitimately hurt. I think he's gonna play. He's gonna give it a go. It's gonna be interesting to see how much he has in the tank. But I also agree with Kimon. I don't think it means anything. I mean, I think they got 2 in the bag. I think, and that's what I was saying yesterday when you say he was injured, and I text you, I said he's done his job. Like they got those 2 games, and I think you thought I was talking about the game. I'm talking about the series. Like I feel like he gave him the energy boost, did what he needed to do at home. Boom. I think this series is in the bag. To be honest with you, I think Dallas might get 1 game, maybe. And I sort of hope they get 1 game just because I love to see the team win on their home floor. So I hope they get 1 game. But I think it's gonna be tough. I mean, especially if KP is playing. Like, I don't know what Dallas does other than score more points to really.
Javon said something there. Let me see about KP's other leg.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought it was the same.
I just pulled it up, bro. I just put it up on the screen. Look at me.
I did. I pressed it.
Oh, dang. Pressed it. So KP said he's good. He's playing on Wednesday. Folks have pointed out it's the other leg. So yes, it is the other leg according to what people are saying. But I'll remind you of Klay Thompson's ACL. He tore his ACL and then he tore his Achilles on the other leg. You know, that comes from overcompensating. That comes from coming back when you're not ready. And your body tells you that you're ready, or you trick yourself into thinking you're ready because you can still move. But what's happening is you're moving by overdoing the other side of your body to make up for it. And then you get injured faster on that other side. And now you've got 2 injuries and 2 bad legs. Grant Hill did it with his ankles. Penny Hardaway did it with his knees. Tracy McGrady, I think, was his back, and then he overcompensated, ended up hurting his legs. Like, it's in basketball, it's historically a thing. Guys get hurt on one side and they end up hurting the other side thinking that they're better than they are. So
I don't think Kristaps thinks he's good. I don't think he thinks he's good. I think he's just playing through it.
I think he's looking at it like, I think he's a competitor, and he's like, I'm winning a chip.
Yeah, for sure.
Like because you think about it like this, bro, and you're a basketball player, you played. If you had the opportunity on the world stage to win an NBA championship, even though you knew that you were taking a risk of injuring yourself and never being the same again, but you were 2 games away from getting a ring, would you think about next year, or would you put it all on the line?
Listen, I haven't had anything that drastic, but when I was in high school, I was going up for a dunk and somebody pushed me in the back. Okay. Pushed me in the back. I fall. I hurt my wrist, right? Our next game, we was playing our rivals. So I'm like, hey, Dad, don't take me to the hospital yet. I'm going to play this next game. I play this next game. I had 15 points. We win the game. We go to the hospital the next day. Both my wrists are fractured. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's like, bro, we can win a chip right now. Bro, I don't care if I'm forced into retirement because they have to find me and grow me a new Achilles. I'm winning this chip, and we'll figure out tomorrow later.
Right.
You know,
but that's why, like Javon said, that's fair. I think the extra day helps him. Plus, they conceivably give him the week off. That's cool. But I guess my thing is for him to say he feel like he's gonna die out there. I think he's hurt. I think he's injured. I think he's gonna try to play. I think he's gonna do what he got to do. But I just think I'm really curious to see how effective he's gonna be. But like you said, I think that he's done what he needed to do. I think him just showing up, I think also gives the team energy, right? It gives the team like, look, my guy's here. We got to win it for him. You know what I'm saying? We got to do this for him. We got to play hard. I think that just gives a little boost. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm just a competitor, bro. I'm just a competitor. That's it.
Yeah. I think all competitive people make poor life choices at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I definitely, as a music guy who's my sights at one point were set on winning Grammys and all those kind of things at any cost. I definitely made some sacrifices that in hindsight were like, shouldn't have done that. Yeah. But moving right along, there is a question now that I think you have that clip of something that Jason Kidd said I'd like to talk about.
Yeah, let's talk about it. All right, let me pull up my screen. All right.
Y'all see this? We're official. I just want to say, if y'all see the fact that we're bringing in the clips, you might as well just call us Get Up in the Afternoon.
Get up in the afternoon. Get up from your nap.
Right.
Here we go.
What makes going against a guy like Jalen so challenging?
Well, Jalen's the best player. So just looking at what he does defensively, he picked up Luka full court. He got to the free throw line. He did everything. And that's what, your best player does, just understanding, he plays both sides, defense and offense at a high rate. And he's been doing that the whole playoffs. I mean, when you talk about the Eastern Conference MVP, and it seems like he's continued to pick up where he left off. And so he's playing at a high rate. We just got to be a little bit more physical with him. And again, we got to keep him off the free throw line and out of the paint because, again, he was finishing at a high rate or he was getting fouled and getting to the free throw line.
Jason Kidd just said it twice that you're the best player on the Celtics. I was just trying to get your reaction to that.
I don't have no reaction. I don't know. I think it's a team game, and we're trying to focus on that. And, everybody has their own opinions.
All right.
You want this one first or you want me to take it?
Nah, I want to hear what you got to say.
Okay. So I would say there's a meme that goes around that says, "You're not fooling me. I'm familiar with your game." The Shaq, it's Shaq. Like I'm familiar with your game. We knew what that was, J Kid, and we appreciate you. You're supposed to do that. I think it's a little low. I'm tired of people always trying to compare Jalen and Jason. I think they're both great in their own right. I think the greatness of one gives the opportunity for the other to shine. And we've seen that in both of their careers throughout various points. We have seen at times where there was a streak in 21-22 season where they had nearly 20 games where they combined for 70 plus points, right? Conversation, is he their best player? What does best mean? And what is the timeline on that? He's the best player in this series for sure, right? But let's look at what best player means from that perspective, because he had 6 turnovers in was that game 1? No, in game 2 he had 6 turnovers. Last night he had 6 turnovers and he was a -1 in a victory, right? Sure, he's best player, but he's from an impact and efficiency perspective, his net rating is negative. So, he shot 20% from 3. Tatum shot 14% from 3 because he took 2 more threes. They only made 1. Brown had 4 assists or 4 rebounds. Tatum had 9. Brown had 7 assists. Tatum had 12. He had 3 steals. Tatum only had 1. They each had a block. Brown had 2 blocks. No, then none of them had a block. I'm sorry, because that block that was a Derek White block is what they called that. But Brown 3 fouls, Tatum 2 fouls, Tatum 3 turnovers, Brown 6
My
turnovers.
boy counting up the fouls.
+6. That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at I'm trying to figure out where we say one person is clearly better than the other, when the way I look at it, no. The way I look at it, they both needed each other, right? Like Tatum had 18 points, but he had 12 assists. Tatum averages 6 assists and he averages 26, 27 points. So you look at it and say, okay, well, let's for math's sake and just good conversation, he was 10 points below his average, right? Well, at minimum, he was 12 points above his average on assists. So he was actually 2 points more efficient or more productive on the offensive end of the court last night. And then you look at Brown and you say, okay, well, he had 21 points. He's 5 points below his average, but he had 7 assists. That's 3 assists above his average. So he's 1 point better last night than he normally is. So I think, they're the greatest duo on both sides of the ball we've seen this year. I don't care what anybody says, because they're in the finals and it's because of them. Period. You could say, I would have went with you with a Murray-Jokic combination. They're not here, so I don't want to talk about it, right? Like, on both sides of the ball, defensively, playmaking, seeing the court, getting the buckets, they're the best duo we have in the NBA this year. So argue about who's great, whatever. What I think matters the most is, does their team care? And I don't think they care. I think everything that they've said about it is, we want a ring.
Yeah, so I think 2 things can be true at the same time, right? I think Jason Kidd could absolutely be playing a mind game. But I also think it's very possible that he actually believes that Jaylen Brown is their best player. Now, and this sort of leads into another topic that we was going to touch on a little later, but I think we can sort of roll this topic in with this as well. The stats are cool. The stats are great, and that's cool. But watching the game, it just feels to me, and we talked a little bit about this, Jaylen Brown has more of an impact on the game than Jason Tatum does. And I don't know what it is, because when we're watching Tatum and I'm like, yo, it don't feel like he's like impacting the game. But yeah, you can look at his stats, and he almost had a triple-double yesterday, right? So it's like he's doing work, he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, but it just feels like, and I think this goes back to the dog conversation, it just feels like Jaylen Brown is the head of the snake almost. And I've been the guy who said Jason Tatum has a higher ceiling than Jaylen Brown.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel as though if you shut down Jaylen Brown, that hurts the team more than if you shut down Jason Tatum. And I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's real, but I just know that that's how it feels when I'm watching the game. It's like if you could take Jaylen Brown out of it, then that really it changes the dynamic of the team. And I think that's why when Jason Kidd says he's their best player, he could be trying to play mind games, but he also the question was what's the difficulty of guarding Jaylen Brown? And so that to me that gives me a understanding of how he's thinking when he's saying like that's the guy we gotta stop. You know what I'm saying? Like he could be playing the mind game, but he could also be saying we're gonna let Jason Tatum do what he do, but if we don't stop him, we don't have a chance.
Okay, I love that you said that, Russell. That triggered a thought for me. So let's say if we can cut the head of the snake off, and this head of the snake is Jaylen Brown, then we win. Why don't they double or blitz Jaylen Brown? Well, he's their best player. That sounds good, but you're not showing me that you respect him like he's your best player. How do I see that? Because every time Tatum steps inside the three-point line, he gets blitzed. There are several screenshots and several plays that you can watch where you've seen in at least 15 times in the last 2 games where when Tatum steps inside, he's getting blitzed by 2, sometimes 3 guys. There was a play last night where every single player was looking at him from inside the key to inside the paint, looking at him saying, where's he going? What's he doing? And he had 4 guys, one being Jaylen Brown, wide open at the perimeter, waiting on him to pass the ball. And so to me, regardless of what he says, the person who's getting the respect as though they're the head of the snake, the person they're game planning for, the person they're trying to keep from going off and getting buckets is Jason. Now, that doesn't mean that the leader is not Jaylen, right? That doesn't mean that the head of the snake from a team perspective is not Jaylen. That doesn't mean if Jaylen goes down, the team doesn't fall apart. But I think and I believe if I'm Dallas, if I'm Memphis, if I'm the Puerto Rican Stars, if I'm whoever I am, I'm saying who's the guy that I want to keep from getting hot? It's the guy that scored 50 in a game 7. It's not the consistent guy who scores 30. I'm just being honest. And it looks that way too. While you can say Jaylen is their best player, and I don't care, bro. I've said this several times. I care so much more about a banner than I do about an MVP or somebody being the best player. I want my team to get a ring. I don't care about who gets the MVP. And if you were to ask me, which we'll talk about later, who the MVP was, it wouldn't be either one of them. But I look at it and say, if you really believe Jaylen's the best player, then you're a horrible coach because your game plan, it looks like it's to stop Jason and make Jaylen beat you, and he's beating you.
Yeah, and I mean, again, I'm not saying you're wrong, right? I'm not saying that, Jason Tatum isn't the best player. I'm not saying that Jason Kidd actually believes what he's saying. I'm just saying he actually could believe it, right? It could be. No, it absolutely is mind games. It's certainly we know that it's mind games. It also absolutely is mind games. And it potentially could also be true for him that he thinks that Jaylen Brown is their best player. Now, to your point, why they don't blitz Jaylen Brown, there's strategic reasons potentially why you're going to blitz Tatum and not blitz Jaylen Brown, right? So one reason could be I'm not as their skill sets are a little bit different, right?
Yeah.
So blitzing Jaylen Brown could potentially do something different than blitzing Jason Tatum, right?
Yeah.
Again,
Let
I
me
don't,
ask you a question.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Who's a better passer, Jason or Jalen?
gotta be Jason.
Who's a better dribbler, Jason or Jalen?
Gotta be Jason.
Who's a better finisher, Jalen or Jason?
That could go either way.
Who's a better shooter?
That also could go either way.
It's Jason. Jason's a better shooter. The finisher could go either way. The conversation about finishing, though, is that Jalen doesn't have a left, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you blitz Jalen from conversational metrics, from the way everybody believes about him, from how everybody talks about him, if you blitz Jalen, it's a turnover. We've seen it. Make him go left, it's a turnover. Dribbles off his foot, whatever, turnover, right? You blitz Jason for 2 games, and he kills you on the assists.
Right.
So I think, and maybe this is a segue. I think that the adjustment that I'm looking for J-Kid to do is I'm looking to see him actually show us that he believes Jalen is the best player. Make an adjustment and attack Jalen, because attacking Jason is not working.
Yeah, it's not working.
He's
but
showing.
I don't think it would work to attack Brown either.
Because
I don't think either one's going to work.
I mean, that's what we're really getting at, right?
Right.
Like, because what happens is you make Jalen prove to you that he's a better passer than you thought he was.
Yeah.
Right. And I honestly believe Jalen just might try to jump over half of you for the first 3 or 4 blitzes.
Mm-hmm.
But then once he realizes that doesn't work, he's going to start passing. And if the pass doesn't work, they'll just take the ball out of his hands and they'll put it in somebody else's hand. They won't let him go down that way.
Yeah.
You know, what I'm seeing also is in-game adjustments from Joe Mazzulla that people act like he can't make. People have been talking about Joe all year. Like, if he don't win a ring, he's fired. This is the best team he's ever going to have. He should have never got the job. He should have this, that, and the third. Bro, there is a clip of him recapping the game last night like a Rain Man. And he literally was like, well, we gave up 26, then 25, then 25, then 20, then such and such. And PJ Washington, we missed the 2-for-1. Then PJ Washington comes down, he gets fouled on such and such. He makes those. We missed this, and that's a 7 point. 70% of what they did was this. So I think we did a good job of controlling things we can and not worrying about things we can't. And everybody's sitting there looking at him like there's math around his head. Like, what's happening? And it's like, you can't, like, you're getting out-coached by a guy who just got there. But I remind you.
Well, he didn't just get, he been there.
No, but that's the conversation, though, right? I remind you that Joe Mazzulla was a head coach at Fairmount State before he got the job. I saw the clip and thought he had to be on the spectrum. Exactly. And you're saying what I'm not saying, but I'm thinking. He saw the clip, or Joe Mazzulla was a head coach at Fairmount State. He got a job as an assistant in Boston. He became the head coach in Boston after Ime because Will Hardy was already gone. They already knew Will Hardy was going. And then the other guy ended up leaving with Will Hardy. He coaches with Ime's staff for a year. They make it to a Game 7 of the conference finals. Ime takes the whole staff the next year when he gets a job in Houston. Joe gets his own staff. He brings in Van Gundy to be a consultant. He brings in Sam Cassell, who's probably the best defensive assistant coach the NBA's seen in 10 years. And he's got a squad around him. Charles Lee from Milwaukee, who's now going to be the Charlotte head coach next year. Like, he's got a championship-level squad around him saying, okay, cool, let's go get a banner. And Sam Cassell already being a Celtics legend in his own right.
Sam Cassell played for the Celtics?
Yeah, he won a ring with the Celtics in 2008.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
And so I just think when you look at the squad Joe has around him, they're all bought into his system. He's not overexcited. He's very calm, cool, and collective. He's very poised in how he moves. He thinks that all the fundamentals are the things that matters the most, and he's proving that the fundamentals are the things that win you championships. Does it look great? Is it exciting? Hell no. Sometimes it's absolutely boring. But you're boringly blowing teams out by 30, 40 points. You have a horrible shooting night, and your defense is so good because you're so good at paying attention to the details. The best player in the world can't capitalize on it and beat you. I think Jason Kidd's getting out coached. I think Luka is doing what he's doing, but like we all said, that might not matter. I think the others are not as good as Minnesota made them look like they are. And like to go back to my Spades conversation, it's not that they're bad. It's just that the other guys are that much better.
Let me ask you this. This is a side note. How many turnovers did Jason Tatum have in game 2? Three turnovers. How many turnovers did Jaylen Brown have?
6.
How many?
6.
Interesting. Okay.
Real quick, I do want to mention something before we get into the next questions. How about my boy Peyton Pritchard checking himself in at the end of the third and talking about like, I got this, y'all.
Mm-hmm. And I heard he was saying to the bench, I told y'all, I told you.
I loved it, bro. I love little man checking it. He literally checked in for that shot.
Yeah.
Didn't nobody look at him and say, Peyton, you got it. No, he's like, let me in. He checked himself in for the purpose of going to. If he misses that shot, bro, he don't play the rest of the game because he wasn't even a part of the game plan.
Oh, true.
He walked in there and hit that shot, and then in the fourth quarter, he shut down Luka.
Yeah,
and turned around and shut down Kyrie on another possession.
No, that was a big shot by Pritchard. He also had another play in the game. It was like an offensive rebound. It was very, very small play.
Where he very like scruffily went and got it.
Yeah. I saw that, and I don't know, just little plays like that make me say, these guys want it. Like, these guys want it. You know what I'm saying? When you got guys who are, getting these offensive, the smallest guy on the floor, grabbing offensive rebounds, diving on the, like doing all those little things. Like that's how you win games. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how you win games. So, and you mentioned this before, and I think Kimon was responding to this when you said you didn't have either one of them as your finals MVP.
Yeah.
Is it Drew Holiday? Is that your finals MVP?
I want to ask you first, bro. Who is your finals MVP right now?
For me is Jaylen Brown. But a great argument could be made for Drew Holiday.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm making that argument.
And this is something else that I wanted to bring up, but we can bring this up right now.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking yesterday, we had conversations, and I keep hearing people talk about, Kyrie's been here before. Kyrie's been in these big games. He's the most experienced out of everybody who's going to be on the floor, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, wait a minute. Drew got a ring too. With Milwaukee. And my question is Drew Holiday underrated? Now, I was talking to my brother one day. We were talking about Drew Holiday. My brother is Jeremy Lamb, by the way, plays in the NBA. He's not on the team right now. I think he's a free agent. Anyhow, I was talking to my brother one day, and he was telling me this story when he was playing with OKC. And he said, I don't remember all the specifics of it, but he said he remembers he heard the team talking. He heard the other team talking, and they were saying something about Westbrook. And he heard Drew say, I got it. Don't worry about it. In the very next play, he picked Westbrook up 94 feet, turning him. Rip, give me that. Dunk. I'm like, yo.
And this was when Westbrook was Westbrook.
Yo, that's crazy. And my perspective, I think he might be one of the most underrated basketball players ever.
Let me tell you something crazy about Drew Holiday. He has the highest win percentage of any player, including the postseason, in the last 4 years. He's a winner. Whether he's the guy winning the game, whether he's the guy getting all the shots, whether he's getting 30 in the finals like he did last year or a couple years ago for Milwaukee, where he's getting 28 with us like he did last night. Whether he's getting 12 points and 8 boards, but he's a plus 20 like he was in game 1, he's a winner. And I saw a point in the game when he came
I'm sorry, real quick. Kimon, you said a lot of stuff. You said a lot of stuff that first day, that first episode. I remember you saying stuff about Kyrie stomping on logos. You said a lot of stuff. And you said stuff about Drew. Like you were sort of playing both sides of
Right.
the fence. You know what I'm
He
saying?
was a little wishy-washy. I was about to send him some Hardwood Hardhead flip-flops. You know, hey, that might be a merch idea. We should make some flip-flops.
I'm sorry to cut you off, sir. Continue.
No, yeah. Kimon said a lot. And then old buddy who said we didn't have any IQ, he need to come back in here too and get these hands.
Javon, he's a Boston fan though. Y'all on the same side.
Okay, but he still listen now. So I think with Drew, you know, it's just one of those things where there was a moment in the game last night where the lead was starting to get smaller. It looked like the basketball was just getting a little ragged for a second. And we made a bucket. Somebody got fouled. And then he was like, all right, hey, guys, come on. And he was just kind of bringing them all in and getting them together and kind of keeping their energy back up. It's like those are the on-court leadership moments that wisdom and that veteran experience that we've been here before type of mentality takes. And then at the end of the game, when they won and he did his on-court interview, he said, you know, there's only 2 games, so this doesn't really mean anything. Whatever it takes for however long it takes. That's what we're looking for, right? And I've said this before, and I will continue to say this. Not all dogs bark loud, but every dog that bites you, you remember when they did. And that's just how I feel. Like, we don't got loud barking dogs. But ask John Wall if he remembers Joe Mazzulla. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Your brother just told you he remembers Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
You feel me? Ask Joel Embiid if he remembers Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown got hella bodies. You know, Miami remembers Derek White from last season. Like, these are just those kind of things. I think if you really get down to it, we got dogs. They just don't bark the same, but they do bite.
Yeah, and I think I just really on the court and off the court, Drew just seems like a really solid dude. You know, even he was away from basketball for what, a year, a season or 2 seasons to take care of his wife when she had, you know, the cancer situation, and then he comes back and, you know, you just see the league welcome him back. And he, like you say, he's a winner. You know what I'm saying? He just seems like a real good, solid dude. And that stood out to me too when they asked him that question. And he said, look, we do whatever it takes for as long as it takes, which tangentially related, they gotta, and this must be a testament to Mazzulla, but they have a team cohesiveness, because I heard Tatum say the same thing in a press conference. He said, look, we do whatever it takes for as long as it takes. However long it takes, we're gonna do whatever it takes. And I'm like, yo, they on the same page, and they're on a string. You know what I'm saying? Like they're connected.
Mm-hmm.
But Drew, I mean, I just think, you know, I wanted to take some time to just give him some appreciation today, because he really stepped up yesterday. I mean, this whole season, like, you look at all the, you know, just getting traded like that. I'm sure that was hurtful. I'm sure that was disappointing. But him, you know, bouncing back, landing on his feet with another good team, another opportunity to win a championship, and being a big part of that. Marcus Smart, I like Marcus Smart, right? Dog, tough, you know, all
also a bonehead.
Sure, you need guys like that. You need guys like that on your team. Everybody got a bonehead on the squad, right? But I think he had to go. They brought in Drew, and you could just see the impact that Drew has had on the squad. You know what I'm saying? Like, filling that role, playing defense, playing offense, doing what needs to be done to get a ring. And I agree with you, bro. Like, not all dogs bark the same. I think, again, going back to Tatum, to me, it just seemed like he don't even be out there. I just feel like he don't be impacting the game. And again, that's not to say he's not playing well, but he just I don't know what it is. But it's just something about his game. It just, I don't know what it is, but I don't know. I don't know. But going back to Drew, I think he's the most underrated player. At least one of them that we've ever seen. He's great player. He playing great. And I wouldn't be mad if he got finals MVP at this point. You know what I'm saying? So game 3 predictions. What you thinking? How you feeling?
Dallas.
Whoa. You think Dallas gets it?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I think Dallas gets it. I don't think there's any way they go down 3-0, man. Back at home, I think the crowd matters a lot more than Kyrie and them think it did or were letting on that it did. I don't think they wanted to give the crowd anything, but I think the reality is the crowd mattered. I think I told you, bro, when Kyrie gave that whole little soliloquy after the first game, and he said it wasn't as loud as I thought it was going to be. I was like, there it is right there. And you were like, oh, come on. I was like, I'm telling you what they're going to do is they're going to use that. And then it was literally a quote on the LED walls in the arena. It wasn't as loud as I thought it was with Kyrie's face behind it. And that was the whole purpose, right? Like, it bothered him. I don't care what he says. It got to him. It bothered him. You could tell by how he played. And so I think going back home, he's going to have the support. We're the villains now. We're the bad guys now. They hate us there now. And I think that's going to fuel him. You know, I think we're going to have to play perfect basketball to beat them, and we haven't played perfect basketball yet. I think this is the game that we're going to lose coming up on Wednesday, and they're going to handle business. I think Luke is going to get 32, 33 points. I think Kyrie's going to get 28. You'll see 17, 18 points from P.J. Washington. You might even see a couple of lobs. And I don't think we catch back. I think it's the game we drop, and then I think, we come back and take care of business in 5.
Yeah, I like that prediction. I think, I honestly, at this point, I think adjustments are going to matter, but at this point for Dallas, I think it's just about, like, okay, if I walk away from, if I'm Dallas and I walk away from game 2, I say we did what we needed to do, right? Might be some little small tweaks, some little changes we need to do here, but that was our game to win. We missed 8 free throws. We can win a game. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got the formula to what we need to do to win a game, right? And so I think you see a very similar game. I think you see an even more aggressive Luka, and I think you see an even more aggressive Kyrie. And I think, like you said, like being at home. Oh, and I think the others play better at home, right? So you're gonna have Lively playing better. You're gonna have, PJ Washington, knocking down some jumpers. You're gonna have I want to say you're going to see more Tim Hardaway, but like you said, something could be going on, inside the locker room. I think he's hurt, but whatever's going on, hopefully you see more Tim Hardaway. I just think everybody's going to play all around better. I think you're going to see Dallas with some more desperation. But you know what I would really love to see the Celtics come out and dominate and win that game. Because if they win game 3,
it's over.
They sit on
one could argue that, while it is, there's the narrative, and Kyrie said this. He's like, they did their job. They protected home court. Now it's our turn to go back and do our thing. Like, you can talk about that protected home court, whatever you want to. You're the away team. At some point, you have to beat them at home, right? Like, that's the point of having home court advantage. So if we won 2 at home and then we come out to Dallas and we drop 2 at home, we don't have to beat you at home. We just have to defend home court, and we'll beat you in 7. At some point, you got to come to the Garden and beat the Garden.
Right,
and
but
so,
at this point, you can't worry about that though.
But I think what I'm saying all that to say, like, the pressure I think is on them. I don't think they can be comfortable, even though they're at home. This is a must-win game for them.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is a must-win game. But what I'm saying is the mentality that you have to have is, yeah, we still got to protect home. Y'all won 2 games. Y'all did what y'all were supposed to do. Now we got to do what we supposed to do. You can't think about, well, we still got to beat you game 7. Like, nah, like y'all did what y'all were supposed to do. Now we got to do what we supposed to do. If we do what we supposed to do, then we come back here and now you got to do what you're supposed to do.
My wife being stupid. I'm sorry.
You see what I'm saying, though?
Yeah, I see exactly what you're saying.
So he's saying what he's supposed to be saying. Like, look.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between what you're supposed to be saying and what the reality is.
That's right? The reality, though. What you mean?
We lost both of these games and now our back's against the wall.
Nah, but that's not the reality. Is you did what you were supposed to do. You won your 2 games at home.
And we did not do what we were supposed to do.
They did what they were. What are you talking about?
No. What I'm saying is Kyrie is saying y'all did what y'all were supposed to do.
That's right? What they did.
But what he's not saying is we didn't do what we were supposed to do.
They haven't done it. They haven't had a chance yet. They're going home.
No. They are supposed to win one of these games.
No, bro.
So that way they can swing it back in their favor.
No. If they win both of these games at home, then we're gonna say both teams have done what they're supposed to do.
And then if Boston wins game 5, are we still gonna say they've done what they're supposed to do?
Yeah, they won at home.
Okay. So then if Dallas wins game 6, is that Dallas did what they were supposed to do?
Yeah.
And then if Boston wins game 7 at home, is that what they were supposed to do?
Yeah, I don't understand what your point is.
I love that you're doing this. So here's my issue, right? At some point, what the team without home court advantage is supposed to do is win a game on the road.
No, I think you're misunderstanding what the phrase means. You're misunderstanding
what the phrase means. I'm saying that the phrase is a fallacy when you're the away team.
No, the phrase is not a fallacy. Because what you're saying is that you already know that they have an advantage because they have home court advantage.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have home court advantage, you're supposed to win.
Right. So the phrase is minimizing their success by saying that's supposed to happen. And what I'm saying is, that's supposed to happen. You've got to be willing to go in there and take it from them, and you couldn't.
What? Bro.
That's what I'm saying, bro. You got to be willing to go in there and take it from them. What you're supposed to do is win the game.
Right. But what I'm saying is that I think you're missing the point of the phrase. Like, I understand you're supposed to win. I'm not saying they're not supposed to win the game. I'm just saying when the team wins at home and you walk away from that, it's like, okay, you protect it. Every team is supposed to protect their home court, right?
Right.
So you have done what you were supposed to do.
And what I'm saying is, if
now they have an opportunity to go home and do what they're supposed to do.
Right. And what I'm saying is, if all you do as the team without home court advantage, if all you do is by the metric of the phrase, what you're supposed to do, it wasn't enough to win a ring.
I know that. But what I'm saying to you is that if I'm the Mavs, my mentality is not thinking about, for example, when the Cavs go down 3-1 to the Warriors, right? They said, we got to win one game. We got to win.
Real quick. We didn't mention this. It wasn't in our notes. I do think it's significant because it creates a little moment here. The Lakers have been trying to get Danny Hurley to be their coach.
Oh, bro, let me finish my point, bro.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I got to say this right after you're done with that. Go ahead.
I don't even remember what I was going to say. Go ahead.
No. You were saying.
Go ahead.
No, you were saying no because I didn't mean to do that. I got excited when I saw the thing. That's my bad.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. I don't know why you cut me off of that. We could talk about Dan Hurley in the offseason. Go ahead, bro. See what you got to say, bro.
Oh, I apologize, bro. I'm sorry. I'm new to this. I didn't mean to cut you off. They couldn't get him.
They couldn't get who?
They didn't get Danny Hurley.
I didn't think he was going to leave UConn.
He turned him down and stayed in UConn.
I didn't think he was going to leave UConn.
They basically put all their chips on the table and we're like, we don't want JJ Redick. We don't want this person. We don't want that person. We want Danny Hurley. Went full force with him, flew him out, courted him, all that type of deal. They couldn't get him. They don't got him. Nobody.
I never thought he was going. So
I mean, I wouldn't have left a two championship team that everybody's bought in for. You got your own recruiting class the way that you want. Very likely are only going to have to go through Duke to get your third championship next year. Like he decided to stay. That's crazy.
Right.
Lakers don't got a coach.
They just hired JJ Redick
as their backup.
They gonna have a coach. So yeah, okay. So we in agreement. Boston Celtics take game. No, you think the Mavs take game 3?
I think the Mavs take game 3.
Okay. I think the Celtics. I think the Celtics win game 3. I think the Mavs win game 4.
What's going on?
Yeah. I'm not mad at that because I think the Mavs win game 3 and the Celtics win game 4. I think either way it goes, we're both in agreement that it goes to 5 and we win game 5 on Monday.
Oh, this is what I was gonna say.
Yes.
When the Cavs go down to the Warriors 3-1, and they say we got to win one game. Obviously, the reality is that no, you got to win 3 straight games, right? Mm-hmm. But the mentality isn't okay. I'm thinking about all these games that I got to win. I'm just thinking about what I got to do next, right? So when you say you did what you were supposed to, you protected your home court. Now we got to go back and protect our home court because all you have right now are these next 2 games. Because if you lose these next 2 games, it's over with.
No, I agree. I think at some point, though, you're going to have to switch your mentality to say, now we got to steal one.
Absolutely. That was the mentality before.
Yeah, but it should have been last night, and they should have done it. And
but you didn't steal it. You didn't steal it, though. So now you can't say, well, we should have stole those games. Nah, you say, all right, you did what you were supposed to do. Now we got to do what we're supposed to do. Because they got to protect home court now. They got to.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So you think about stealing the game, but you ain't worried about what you got to do next.
Yeah, you've convinced me. You're right. You beat me today.
I mean,
today you got me twice. You got me twice today.
I think we arguing, you arguing the reality. I'm just arguing the mentality these guys got to have. That's it. It's all love, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got me twice today, bro.
It's hard to be wrong. I get it. All right. You got anything else you want to bring up about any other coaching changes or coaching fiasco?
The Lakers don't have a coach. That's a good thing for me because I hate the Lakers. I'm looking forward to Wednesday. We're gonna see what happens Wednesday, and then we'll be back again Thursday at 12:30.
Thursday, 12:30. That time may need to shift a little bit.
Okay. Well, let's just.
I'm doing a comic book convention this weekend, and so I'll be traveling, doing some things. So may shift a little bit, but we're gonna be back. We're gonna be back.
Yeah. We have. We all have other obligations. I've been. All over the place during this whole call. So,
yeah, that's true. We're gonna have to have a conversation about that.
Yeah, I apologize.
No, it's all love. Look, we appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thank y'all for engaging, giving your feedback. If you enjoyed this, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it with somebody, and
even if you didn't enjoy it, just do it for us.
Yeah, just do it for us. With that being said, we appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. See y'all next time. We love you.
Sir.